So in our last lecture, we talked about the philosophies in quality. We talked about the philosophers, talked about Duran, Crosby, and Derman, and their position when it comes to quality. Most of you indicated that you align with Duran. Others said you align with Crosby, and yet others also said that they aligned with them. And we had some people who had a confluence of the two, Derman and then Duran, Derman, and then Crosby and all that. So today we are going to look at the issues of quality assurance, quality control, and then the relationship that exists within these perspective. But before, we get into that, let me ask this question. What is quality assurance in your what's the difference between quality assurance and quality control? This one is not based on something probably that I thought you have studied, but in your industry experience, what do you think is the difference between quality assurance and quality control?
No. Oh.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so good morning.
Morning.
Please, Robert Lantelamte, in my opinion, when we talk about quality control, we basically focusing on the quality management aspect that focuses on the requirements. So the quality control is part of quality management, but that focuses on the requirements that it's expected. For instance, if your institution is required to produce have a quality manual, there will be requirement to get a product ready for the end user. So the control is part of the quality management process, and it's all about fulfilling the quality requirements of a business or a product or a service. Whereas the assurance relates to the processes you use in performing or in producing the product or service. So the assurance is more of process, and then the control is part of the requirements that you must fulfill, in my opinion. Thank you.
Say, repeat that bit again. The last bit.
So I was saying that.
No. You said something is process and something is. I like that.
Okay, so I'm saying that the quality assurance relates to how a process is performed to come up with a product or a service, whereas the control is about fulfilling quality requirements.
Okay. Who else? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So I think quality assurance refers to the processes and procedures or techniques that govern the management of an organization. But quality control focuses on the requirements of the product. That's how I can put it.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Who else?
Quality control refers to the process of studying the developed product to verify that it's in conformance with the requirements from the client, which is also to ensure that there are no defects and that we are doing exactly what has been asked of you. That's the quality control. And then the quality assurance is like a set of activities that determine the procedures and standards.
Okay. Who else?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
In a simple word, the quality assurance is the prevention of a defect in a process, while the quality control is a detection of a defect in a process.
Okay. Who else? Hello.
Doc.
Yeah.
Please, again, can we in terms of difference, can we consider quality assurance as the SOPs, the standards that you require, and then the control being the testing of the quality issues?
I was asking a question.
That's the thought.
No, you can share the thoughts. Who else? Quality control are measures. Let me read this. AMA says quality control are measures put in place to ensure that a product or service meet the requirements. Quality assurance is implementation. Is the implementation ensuring that measures are adhered to. Yeah, who else? Yeah, you wanted to say something. Please go ahead.
Doc, what I wanted to say is during the development of a product, quality assurances normally comes first, where we put in place procedures and processes to monitor how the product is being done. Then quality control is we are going to detect the defects that the products or what the customer expects. So we are going to detect the defects in the product, seeing to it that the product is going to meet the customer's expectations.
Yes.
Doc, please, so for me, quality assurance, as my other colleagues have said, is the use of processes and procedures. So in quality assurance, the aim is we are trying to be proactive, we're trying to prevent certain defects from happening. And then quality control is like we are looking out for defects and we are being more reactive in that light. Quality control, you realize that there's a use of checklists and certain things to help us to identify the defects and all that. Yes, please.
Who just spoke? Who just spoke?
Befi.
I think that
Yeah, I settled it.
You nailed, all that they said were right, but you actually nailed it. You understand?
Thank you.
Yeah, you nailed it heavily. And in fact, what I just typed is what you have explained. Okay, so this is the next lecture, what we hope to achieve, differentiate between inspection, quality control, quality assurance, and all that. Okay, and total quality management programs, and critically review where and when these techniques are applicable. So that is what we are looking at. And I did say that quality assurance and quality control, which one is proactive and which one is reactive, which you have nailed. By the time I finished typing, you have already said it. So I asked a question: as a country, are we doing quality assurance or quality control? Or I don't need to ask this question, it's obvious. Hello, as a country, are we doing quality assurance or quality control? Or the quality control?
I think we are doing quality control.
Or the quality control stuff, we know they do them. Which one is which?
So I think the quality control itself, we are not practicing it in the country. My name is Idrisu. There are certain things that we need to understand and practice, that it should be part of our daily lives as a country, but I think we've thrown it somewhere, so we are not doing either of the two, and I think it's something we need to look at it as a country. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Probably when you become a president and you're also not corrupted, maybe. Maybe I'm told that on the seat, things they happen. So it's so as a country, we are more reactive than proactive, right? We are more reactive than proactive. And being reactive means that you'll be doing firefighting. And that's what perhaps some of us probably in our workplace, that's what we do. I mean, procedures don't work, always you do firefighting. People don't align with, so let me say this, which of these concepts aligns with the quality gurus? Which of them? Proactive and reactive, Deming, Duran, Crosby, which of them? Which of them? With the quality groups, who is practicing assurance, who is practicing control? Who is in the middle?
Hello. I think Crosby is of quality assurance.
Okay. What about the rest? What about the rest?
So also, I think the rest are quality control because they allow room for defects and errors.
Okay. No, it is important that we understand some of these things. Okay. All right. Yes, the rest, some of them are do quality control to some large extent. It is not, as it were, cast in concrete. Okay. There's some level of quality and the quality control they do, and then the quality assurance. So let's look at today. We are going to look at quality circles and then move to quickly to 6 Sigma. I'm going to show you what some of the top tier companies have used 6 Sigma to do, a practical example, and then subsequently we'll look at the how some of the tools are applied, okay, the quality tools in in achieving the best output. So the cost of quality. I think we discussed this last week, did we? The cost of quality. Did we do this? Hello?
Yeah, I think it was part of one of the guru's statement also.
No, but I'm asking, did we treat the cost of quality?
No, sir. We didn't do detection. No, we didn't do this.
Hey, really? The video deal. Okay, no problem. So let's look at the cost of quality. Now here, if you remember the discussions between Duran, Deming, and then Crosby, we're talking about cost of quality. We're talking about the cost of quality. And we did indicate that these guys, Duran said that the cost of quality is actually zero. It says there's no cost. And Deming and then, no, Crosby said there is no cost, but Duran and then Deming had a view that there's a cost to quality. Okay. And we just want to see where they are coming from, because Crosby thinks that if you do things right, okay, there is no cost at all. Your cost of quality is actually your cost of production. You don't need to do any extra work. But after we have considered the cost of production, and we need to build some sort of quality procedures just to do checks and balances, which becomes an additional cost to the production of goods and services. That is how Crosby sees it. But the other guy said there is a cost, because when you are finished, human beings are not like, they are not perfect. So when you have finished doing the thing, you have to check and all that. If you look at Crosby, he doesn't believe in even what we call supervision. No, who to supervise you? Who? It's another cost, okay? So let people do perform their role, give them the power, delegate authority, let them play their role. So you, the supervisor, you are part of the process. You don't wait for someone to do the work and then you come and check. So this guy doesn't believe in even auditing, okay, that we have done the work. And he says, no, all these things doesn't make sense. It's extra cost, okay? If people are trained to do things right, we wouldn't have some other people to come and then counter check. And that's the position of Crosby, which Deming and then Duran disagrees. So when we talk about the cost of quality, we are talking about cost of appraisal, internal failure cost, and an external failure cost. And it's a kind of a framework that we use to identify components that are related to the production of high quality goods and low quality components, with the goal of minimizing the total cost of what? Quality. When the cost of quality goes high, then the product itself, the cost also goes high, because we are going to add that to the cost of production. Now, we can do this we can implement a measure to reduce the cost of what? Quality. We want to look at it from the point of detection or appraisal. Do we want to look at it as internal failure cost and external failure cost? What actually do we want to do? So if you look at the cost of quality and the definition of the various categories, under prevention, it says cost associated with preventing what? Defect. So at this point, what you are actually doing is you are preventing what? Defect. Okay, that is what you are actually doing at this point. You are preventing what? Defect. And here an example is training, early reviews, quality planning, tools, process improvement initiatives. So when you want to prevent the error from happening, then at this level, you make sure that you do early reviews, quality planning, tools, training, and process improvement initiatives. Now, when we get to the appraiser category, It's a cost associated with analyzing and testing the product to ensure it conforms to specification. At this stage, the product has already been produced. Okay, so here we do inspection, testing, audit, quality control. And I said that Crosby hates these things. He is at the level of prevention. Now let's make sure that we don't churn out bad products. Okay, so here we do appraiser, and appraiser we do prevention. Example, audit, quality control, and all that. And then you have the internal failure cost, where costs associated with fixing defect found prior to what? Release. Prior to the release of the product, you've seen some, after inspection, you've seen some defect and you want to fix them. And an example is repair, retesting, updating, documentation. So here we have done the inspection, we have identified that there are issues with the product or the equipment, so we would want to fix it before release. Now the cost of fixing is high. Remember, at this level, you have done the first quality check with the appraisal cost. And having done that, you've been able to identify what an internal failure cost, internal failure, and which you are now fixing additional cost at the second level. Then we have the external failure cost associated with fixing defect found after release. Because of the fact that the system is not foolproof, after release, after internal failure cost has been fixed, you realize that now when you release, there were returns. Good, some of the products were returned that it didn't meet the requirements. Your customers did that, and that is external failure cost. And then this is technical support, defect reporting and tracing, field updates, loss of future sales. So this one can be very detrimental. This one can, cause serious problem for the establishment. Image of the company is going to be in the mud. It will take a very long time. It will take a very long time to fix some of these things. So this is very, very important, you understand. We will need to ensure that either at the prevention stage, we keep things at a very higher, level of conformity, the processes, so that it will not lead to appraisal, internal failure, and external failure. I don't know if you have any thoughts to share on this. Hello. Or whether what I said makes sense. Something. Are you guys there? Are you guys there?
Yes.
We are here.
We are
I
here.
acknowledge the fact that some of you are in your bed. I mean, you have not woken up. I agree. But Charlie, I mean,
Dog is too.
I agree. And some of you, I mean,
We went on night duty.
I agree. I know that kind of night duty, I know. Yeah, because yesterday was Friday. That's fine.
Dog is like
Doc, we are with you.
241, where some of us are.
Yeah. So as I they talk, sometimes they go off small, then you come. I agree. But let's
you.
No, I mean, we've been in the business for quite a long time, so we understand. This is, but the point is that when you lose some of these things, because what we are now looking at is more of the practical aspect of the things we do, rather than relating it to writing examination. And that's the bit I want you to get more. Okay, so we need to relate this to what is happening in our organization. So if you look at the chart, cost of quality, quality management shows how increased prevention cost reduces total quality cost. So you see what we were saying. The whole concept aligns with what Crosby's ideology. It says quality cost management show how increased prevention costs reduce total quality cost. Who can explain this? Who can explain this? Hello? If you explain, I'll be gracious to you. Kojo Adrianson said, roll call, sir. You just joined, eh? Who can explain this? Yeah.
I think that what it means is that you should practice quality control every day or anytime in the process, so that you may be able to fix whatever defect that you see, or even prevent the defect from happening, so that you don't wait till you are done before you identify it. Then you have to put in money to fix those defects. So more or less,
you are right. You are right, but
yeah,
the way you started, you mentioned quality something. I think what you wanted to say was prevention, right?
Yes.
Okay, so can you restate the point? You are
okay. So what I'm saying is that if you always check, like you are always checking, making sure that whatever process that is being done is done the right way, like it follows the standard, the procedures. You prevent maybe defects, or you meet the desired expected result at the end of the day. So because you are always checking, you may not necessarily have a defect at the end, and then you will not have to spend money to fix a problem, because already you have prevented the problem from occurring.
All right. I think that's a genuine point. So if you look at that, please, who has something to say? We are 29 on the call. If I take myself out, and it's just my wife's namesake, just the one who has spoken.
Yeah, Doc, good morning.
Morning,
Doc,
Jerry.
Yes, sir. I think with the chart, it shows that we should be more proactive to reduce the costs. We should be more proactive than being reactive.
Okay. That makes a point. So I think what Amma said and then what you've said is bringing a question that I think will happen in the exams, right? So let's discuss. We could develop the question right now. So let's discuss. Let's go ahead. Yeah. And this is going to be question 2. Let's go ahead. Or somebody wanted to talk. Need a question and or if it didn't. Hey.
Look, I was going to say that if we do things right, there's nothing to fix.
And I like that statement. No, wait. This is just too good.
This should be another guru.
Wow. Yeah. This is too good, eh? Let me put it somewhere. Can you see the screen? It said, if we do things right, there is nothing to fix. Charlie, what do you do all? This thing is deep, eh? If we do things right, there's nothing to fix. Charlie, go ahead. Taufik. Oh, Taufik.
Yeah. Yes, Doc.
Write this guy name down. I'll forgive him Max. I swear.
I've written it down. Guru Robert Nilante.
Nilante. Can I go after
Yes,
you? Yeah.
Look, thanks. So I was going to say that once we get the process working and there is nothing coming back, recalling, there is no correction, all the systems are repaired, maintained. Replacements will not be necessary, will not be calling things back, recall, and going through the cycle of producing the same thing again. So the most important thing is to ensure, like Cosby, once you start the process and everything is working, I mean, you don't need internal audit. You don't need any other person. All you have to do is to make sure that the product on the market is acceptable at all times, and your cost will be fixed.
Charlie, so now we have a question. You have one question for the exams.
Okay.
All right. So let me try the question. And you see it. If I have put the same thing on my status, you can go to my status to read that if we do things right, there is nothing to fix. Robert Nina Lamte. Sure. The guy did wrong. In fact, what you have even said, we can decide to stop the class. We are done. Okay. It's a huge statement. Okay, so let's see the question. Prevention, appraisal, internal failure, okay. So okay, so let's see this question. Are we there? Can someone read? Any good Samaritan?
Don't
your screen.
Oh, I can see your screen, please.
Sorry. Oh. Nilamte, the place you did.
Yes, sir.
Address good. Your address.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you understand what I'm saying by your address good?
Is it a good location?
I mean, are you in a good state to show your face? That's why I'm asking address, if your address good. Sometimes you're there in your boss shorts, or they don't wear. So address good.
let me put the light on and show my face.
Because you are likely to get some commendation from the ladies. So,
hey,
Doc, unless she's willing to fly you.
no, he doesn't need. Make them see that in face keke. They go fit come for classes and things. The guy get filler. So someone should read.
That's my face.
Your face, eh? Okay. So there. Me, I can know you for some place.
Hey.
Ah.
Sure, it's a good
nice guy to where he get head to. Charlie, your point has led to a question. I mean, that's the way I learn. Okay.
Okay.
That's the way I learn, and that's why you should allow students to show. Okay, so that's fine. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you so much. So, someone should read a Good Samaritan. If we have any Emma Morrison here, should read. Sonia wants to read. Sonia.
Yes,
read
sir.
Sonia, you be man. You know, are the fine woman. I beg.
I'm a woman, please.
Oh, sorry. So, like I can't talk. Say, pack yourself. Okay. Sonia. Because
Yes,
of
sir.
today, the transgender, and we just want to make sure that the names are.
I'm a woman, sir, with a deep voice.
Yes. Go ahead.
If we do things right, there is nothing to fix. Discuss this statement in relation to the cost of quality, where prevention, appraisal, internal failure, and external failure constitutes the cost of quality.
Now, this question, as you are seeing it in spirit and in reality, is the same thing that will come. The answer to the question is what Nilampi just said. You know how he took, and this thing is in the recording, right? He has, Nilampi, can you rehash what you said so that we put it in the right perspective? The answer is what he's given. And this is the first time a question like this is being used to achieve the milestones as we, like this one. Let me draw your attention to it. Differentiate between quality assurance, this one. So the question to address this outcome is this one. Okay. So Nilamte, if you can rehash what you said, okay. I like the way you did the introduction. Okay. Make the fast way we give you, make the fans take you off. Just follow what you know. Say some people they give them fans. Then I'm at teacher crowd. We won't make you stay within.
Okay, so we're looking at it from this perspective. I indicated that if we get things done right at the first instance, we will not incur any other cost of recalling anything we've produced. We will not have to correct anything. For instance, if a product is sent to the open market and there's a defect, you have to call these products back. The cost of recalling it, the reputational damage that will come to you, the corrective measures you have to put in place, the audits and other warehousing costs will all be avoided if we do it right. We just have to keep the SOPs and make sure that procedures and processes are working. And like Cosby said, there will be nothing to do thereafter.
Okay. So in addition to what he has said, the question says that, in fact, what he has said is the actual discussion, okay, to buttress the point that if we do things right, there's nothing to. So when you have done that, then you can even look at this chart. You can also bring this chart and say that this chart shows an increase in prevention cost, okay, that reduces total quality cost. In other words, in trying to achieve, that's the statement that says that if you do things right, there is nothing to fix. What it means is that at the prevention stage, there should be more of trainings. There should be more of early reviews. There should be more of quality planning, use of quality planning tools, and process improvement to ensure that there will be no appraisal cost, to ensure that there will be no appraisal cost, which will in turn lead to an internal failure cost, which is also subsequently lead to external failure cost. Okay, so the quality, this diagram illustrates the fact that when you invest more in prevention costs, that is the total management trend, that is prevention cost. You see that one is bigger. The box is a little bit bigger. That it will reduce appraisal cost. There will be fewer appraisals or nothing. Because Crosby, he doesn't want to get there. There will be less internal failure cost, and that is going to lead to few external failure costs. So here you see, it says that there's some savings you've made here. In fact, in solving this question, you can even reduce the savings up to maybe for internal failure. That there will be, you save external failure, you save internal failure, or even save appraisal costs. Okay, and that's the import of this question. And then the answer is what we've talked about, what I've just said. So what do you do? Maybe at the master's level, if this is a face-to-face, maybe it will be face-to-face. You just give a brief, okay, of the statement that they made. If you do things right, there's nothing to fix, okay? Just let us know if you align with this statement, okay? Or you do not really align with this, okay? And the intro Robert gave well fit. If please, this one, there will no turn it in. So if you take the video, just go and copy what Robert said, paraphrase it, you have an answer. You can go and sit down and answer this question and put it down because it will come. Did you hear what I said? And if you want to be more, if you want to be more, you want to just demonstrate some scholarly, muscle, what you can do at this level is to probably introduce some perspective of Crosby. You get it? In the discussion. And then you bring Deming in. When talking about Deming and then Duran, you are talking about prevention, appraisal and internal failure costs and all that. Okay? Just to buttress the point. And if you had said, okay, if you do things right, there's nothing to fix. He said this statement aligns with the philosophy of Crosby, who believes or who asserts that quality is conformance and performance. And then Crosby believes that there is actually the cost of quality is zero. He believes that the cost of quality, quality is free, because when you do things right, you see the discussion. This is where you are becoming scholarly, because you have mentioned a scholar's name. I don't know whether I'm making sense.
You are making sense. Yeah.
If I talk bullshit, tell me. So you get what I'm saying? Okay. Yes, so if you pick the issue of, now you want to talk about the appraisal, then you are veering into the Deming and then what? The Duran. Okay. And that is where you become, scholarly. Okay. So it will bring that beauty in here. Now, if you have this thing at the back of your mind and part of your mindset, why? It will really going to help you as a person, knowing that if you get things done right the first time, there is nothing to fix. Okay? Then what it means is that anytime I'm bringing something out, I'm churning something, I have to do that meticulously and make sure that as much as possible, because I don't have time, I don't want to come back again. Now, let me give you a typical example. I was yesterday and then a day before, 3 days or 4 days ago And then yesterday, I was mad at one of my guys, a young guy, 32 years, who is doing 33, who is doing the PhD. He is done. I'm supervising him. And this guy, when he comes and saying that, go and do this, go and he say, I understand. Then he will come with the same thing, not fixed. So yesterday was the last day I told him that, hey, I don't have time for this. This is the system we have met. I don't have time for this bullshit. You know what? Bring your thesis statement form. I'm going to sign it. Submit the work. I want you to feel, okay, that heat of rejecting your PhD and then doing it again. Perhaps that will help you because you've not had that experience. That's why you're fooling around. And that's what I told him. So I just signed the thing for me. I said, you should go and submit. I called the thesis coordinator. I said that this is the decision I've taken. Let the thing go to external and let them fail him. Because when they fail him, he is going to learn. Because for the 6 times, I've never engaged any student like this student. And I think that he wants to use me to do the correction. Now, when he comes, we project, and then when we see something, and then he corrects, he's using my time for the correction. I told him I was not ready for that. So people are, and my point is that where we, I rented the Airbnb, it's about $150, a night. And we've done 5 days. Okay, I was using 2 days, 3 days to do some work for some politicians. And then we are doing the, you came and then took 2 days. And the time is wasted. But it's even not the fact that he wasted his time. It's my time. It's my time. Because my consultancy hours are very expensive. So if I use 1 hour and nothing comes out of it, the same thing we are going back. It becomes an issue. It becomes, and I was just sharing with this. Yesterday, I shared something with the other group. One of the ladies who also finished her PhD. I'm going to show you a picture. You guys know that we had a graduation. You remember? You saw that we did a graduation. I think, was it last Saturday or so? Yeah, last Saturday. Were you guys aware that we had a graduation?
No, sir. I don't know, sir.
Oh, because the next day you had your exams.
So I saw it on your DP. Sorry, I saw it on your status.
Okay, I just want to show you this lady. And I'm doing this for emphasis, just more. Now, she's called Fish, right? Fish. Now, this lady, I was supervising her and with another supervisor. And there was something we had to fix, and I thought that we had done it. But for some time, I think she was trying to reach me, and she was rather trying one of my deadlines. So go to the other supervisor, and then they, this thesis thing, they were done. So they printed and they had combined the thesis 3, which was going for external. So I was there when I called her and she said, oh, we are finished. And then Madam has even, the other supervisor have then, I said that, send what you printed. They said they are sending it. I said, stop it and send what they printed to me. When she said, I realized that there were major issues that we had to fix. And I thought that had been done. It was not done. So I called the other supervisor and I stopped it. Charlie, they were angry. What do you mean? I didn't say anything. I said, stop it. They stopped. So I was then going to do some work at somewhere in Ngwa, going to lecture this workshop for Ghana Institute of Risk for the executives. So I was supposed to go on Monday. So I told her that either that same place that we're going to have the book that place for Sunday, and then let's have the meeting so that Monday I'll be there. But I think she didn't get it, so she booked another place that was just close to. So I went there with my projector. We sat down from 4 p.m. because it was just after church I drove there. We sat with the projector, work till 4 a.m., 12 hours. And then she submitted because we had to submit. Now, the comment that came from the external reviewers, this lady had 89. Did you get it? PhD, we don't get thesis 89. It's not attainable. I mean, I didn't get that mark anyway, my PhD. She got 89. Then later she called me and said that, Dr. Boison, I want to confess. In fact, the way we were angry with you, the way we wanted to just devour you because we had printed, and you know the cost of the printing, it was very high. So I asked, what was the cost? It was like 300 Ghana. And I said, 300 Ghana. So as against rejecting your thesis, she said, now I got to understand what you were talking about. Okay. So just rehash the issue that because I have this mentality of Crosby, I'm very careful that before the thing goes out, we get it right. And this is not the first example. There are series of examples. For this young guy, I think that he belongs to the Generation Y, okay? And Generation Y guys, I don't know, but they have a different mentality. They want everything fast. How can you have your PhD without getting through the tenant? And it's like he wants the thing done quick, okay? And it's like giving a knife to a small boy. And that's what I told him. You cut yourself. So it's important that you go through, the process so that you appreciate, because I don't believe, when I'm on the panel yesterday, the team that I met, they said that they are told that I'm like a lion on the panel. And I said, no, that's not what I do. I rather help you to be able to explain things so that you get your marks. Because for me, I think that it doesn't make sense for you to lose your marks. Okay, it doesn't. So back to the question. Let me take this thing off. So back to the question, you can be a little more philosophical, and that is going to help you with, and that's what we call scholarly writing. You bring some of these things in, that makes it. I believe that you have taken a screenshot of this. I know somebody has even put it on your platform. I think that is fine. Are we okay?
Yes, please.
Okay, so we talked about this, and this is the formula for calculating the cost of quality. It says that cost of quality is the sum of internal, external, internal appraisal and prevention costs over sales times what? 100. Okay, so if you look at this, let's try to compute it. Internal cost is 100. External cost is 100. Internal cost is 50. Appraisal cost is what? 50. Prevention cost is 60. Add all of them, then over what? Sales, which is 200, then times 100. And then let's look at the cost of quality. Let's do that. Yeah, hello. Oh, about this one, you go.
So COQ is 130.
It's 130. Confirmed. Confirmed?
Yes, Doc.
Who else is confirmed? Okay, so typical quality cost ratio. Can I have a good Samaritan to read this for us?
Okay, so typical quality cost ratios. Under category, we have prevention costs. And on that same line, we have, is it Fagenberg or you can help me, Doc, please. You can help me pronounce it better.
Yeah.
Begimguam, okay. Begimguam has 5% to 10%. Then Johan had 0.5% to 5%. The second line under category, we have detection stroke appraisal cost, and that is equal to a 20% to 25%, as to 10% to 50% on the other side of Johan and Co. And then the failure cost, we have 65% to 70%. Then on the other side, the internal cost will be 25% to 40%, and an external of 20% to 40%. The total cost of quality, therefore, is 100%, and on the other side, joint side, is also 100%. Thank you, sir.
So what this guy is saying, that these are the tolerance or the tolerable rates that these artists or these philosophers have given. I mean, Fagenwand is saying that a prevention cost should be between 5 to 10, but detecting an appraisal cost between 20 to 25. This is of your sales. Of your sales. Just imagine, guys, if 20 to 25% of your sales is going into detection and appraisal cost, that's serious. Duran and then Griner, they are saying 10 to 50%. That is crazy. Failure cost, they're saying that if there's failure cost, then you are dead. 65 to 70%. So, and then Duran and others says that the failure cost is between 25 to 40 and 20 to 40%. Now, this is to tell you that if you get things right at the first time, you save these costs. It doesn't really happen, okay? And they know that you don't need to do a lot for prevention cost. But when you don't put in more measures to do that, the rippling effect and the rippling cost that you are going to incur is going to be something very huge. And for which reason one has to be very, very careful. Okay, so the cost of quality, these are the categories, and I would like Clifford to read. Clifford, are you there? If you are asleep, just wake up. Clifford Glee.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. So the cost of quality, John's model, cost category, cost of prevention, cost associated with the development of programs to prevent defectives from occurring in the first place. That's the cost of prevention. And the cost of detection or appraisal, that is cost associated with the tests and inspections of sub-assemblies and products after they have been made. And then finally, cost of failure, cost associated with the failure of a defective product. In fact, internal failure costs, producing defective costs that are identified before shipment. And then external failure costs, producing defective products that are delivered to the customer.
So this is Duran's model. This is Duran's model. And also for more, just to add more, this gives the description. So when you are writing on a little bit on the appraisal cost and all that, you can use this as description. This one, this table is there. And then you have this one also there. Okay, so let's look at the implementation of TQM. For total quality management to be successful, these are some of the soft skills that we need to take into consideration. And we have the integrity, ethics, trust, training, teamwork, communication, recognition, and leadership. There will be a question on that, but not for the exams, for the assignments, okay? What we are saying is that for TQM to work, there should be integrity. There should be integrity, and integrity from the company's what? Perspective. And integrity means that in your interaction with workers, if you are a senior officer, or even a junior officer, you treat people with that kind of respect. Issues of you treating people with disdain should be stopped. You make sure that you consider everybody as equal to you in terms of the fact that the person is also human as you. And for yourself, you do things that will bring honor to you. You don't steal from work. You don't chase the girls at work. You don't abuse them. Okay, integrity. That is very, very important. Now, when it comes to ethics, ethics becomes some sort of code of conduct that are acceptable within the organization. And most times they draw their inspiration from the core values of the organization. For instance, if they say we are an organization that believes, which is customer-centric, we believe in staff development, we also believe in corporate social responsibility, keeping the community clean and all that. This becomes some code of ethics that we work with. It's code of what? Conduct that we work with. And we are saying for TQM to work, there should be some code of conduct. And for instance, if we establish some rules that, hey, we do not want waste in the system. Waste is an enemy. So as a matter of fact, as part of our code of ethics, when you get to a place and you use that environment, make sure that all the appliances are put off before you leave. That is part of the ethics. Okay, you get to a place, the light is off, you use a room and the air condition is off, you put it on, you put it off before you leave. I mean, in some places, the washrooms, as part of the code of ethics, they tell you that you leave the place better than you met, okay? And then you go to other companies, their washrooms, and they will have to get somebody on the standby that when you finish whatever you are doing, the person cleans that place. That's extra cost. In either organization, we are the cleaners. So anytime you go to the washroom, the place is clean. And when you are leaving, you keep the other place cleaner than it is. It's a code of ethics. And then trust. The fact that these integrity and ethics, I mean, they all are in trust. If you have somebody with high integrity and you work with a high ethical standard, what this will degenerate into is trust. And other thing that comes with trust has to do with, it is not something that somebody wills only. It's something that you also assumes. Okay. In other words, you show that thing towards others. For instance, a supervisor now delegating authority to a subordinate, and then telling the subordinate that I have your back. Okay, just be very careful. but don't be too careful so that you are not innovative. I have your back. Anything that happens, I am going to take the responsibility. Do what you can. It's some sort of trust that you are building in that person. So we are saying that trust, which was one of the soft skills, needs to be integrated when we want to implement total quality management. Then there's training. Training, workers are up to speed with the processes, procedures, SOPs, and all that, that they are aware of what is going on, that they are not disadvantaged in any way. And out of that, we create something we call the teamwork, where in the team, everybody have equal voice. It's only in decision making that you see who is the leader. But we all work, we all share ideas, we all accept our ideas, whether good or bad, whether it makes sense or it doesn't make sense. We help team members generate more options and more alternatives than asking them to answer right or getting answers right or wrong. So teamwork helps the team to innovate because, I mean, we don't have any boundary in terms of thinking. Indeed, we are not just thinking outside the box, we are thinking without a box, right? We are thinking without a box. Assuming there's no box, what are you going to do? So teamwork, if well developed, it's going to inure to the benefit of the organization in terms of implementing total quality management. And there's communication. Communication should be a two-way affair. There should be the sender and the receiver. They should have an intended meaning of what is being communicated. And then whoever receives at the receiving end should be able to give a feedback. And the feedback should be, I mean, very clear, very, very succinct, or not succinct, very detailed enough for the person to take what action. And in most organizations, there's no communication. Some supervisors, some managers make sure that in every 30 minutes, they have a kind of communication with those they are working with, so that they know that, Charlie, I'm active, I'm around if you need something. They just go around every 30 minutes, 1 hour. Charlie, is everything all right? That is a form of communication. Is everything all right? So what time are you going on lunch? Okay, are we making progress? Are we on course? I use this word, are we safe? Anytime I see myself, I say, are we safe? So nothing is happening, we are safe. It's a form of communication. And if you do that, it helps. And then recognition. Recognition, you see, staff should be made to know that they exist. In most organizations, the employees are just living. I mean, they do not consider themselves part of management, okay? Because we are all part of management, because we are all managing. And in some very structured organizations, you go there and always the leader, and let me give you an example. I went to MPS. We gave them Meridian Poster. We gave the CEO, I've forgotten, Kamara also. We gave him an award. And when we gave him the award, he brought his subordinates, those who work with him, and said that, yeah, I'm very delighted that you're giving us this recognition. And just to let you know that these are the guys who made the thing happen. In front of the workers, he told them that I only direct and lead them. But this is my engine room. These are the guys who make sure things happen. Okay. That was recognition just right in front of us. Recognizing the fact that even though you have awarded me, these are the guys who did the magic. And that was very refreshing. I could see from, I mean, the demeanor of the managers, and it was just amazing. And he went ahead to say that every single staff you see in this organization has contributed to this award. They have made this happen. Right from the guy who cleans the washroom, from the sweepers, I mean, from those the risk stacker drivers who do the moves of the containers, from everything, those who do the planning, they have made this thing happen. And that is the mark of a good leader, recognize it. Now, it makes the workers feel that they are part of the organization and that they are in the fellowship. Fellowship simply means that fellow people in one ship. They are all in that ship. They have the sense of belongingness. They know they belong to the organization and they are part of the process. So recognition is very, very important. And then at the end of the day, there is leadership. Now in this leadership model, we say everybody leads. Everybody leads. If you are in your own environment and then you don't even have a subordinate and you are working with your tools, you are leading yourself. You are telling yourself what you are supposed to do. Okay. I have a question. Maybe I'll come back to it. All right. So that leadership then is very, very important. So if you look at the whole trait, leadership now becomes the foundation. Because if you lead very well and you give people recognition, if you communicate well with them, you build teams, you train them, you build trust. Okay, people will work with high ethical standard, and of course, that will degenerate into high integrity. People of integrity, people that you can speak well of, and all that. So I've seen your question that, please, what is the best form of recognition? In fact, the best form of recognition, it depends. You know, you guys know about the Maslow hierarchy of needs. Okay, Abraham Maslow talked about the hierarchy of needs. I hear there's a new model that have integrated internet as part of what the needs. Okay, that internet is part of the basic needs. So in this part of the continent that we live, or this part of the world that we live, where the basic needs have not been satisfied, okay, like people are still now renting an apartment, they are still now trying to find their feet and all that. If they get to their work environment and then you give them a plate or a plug, you've done well, they'll thank you. But if you give them cash, Charlie, they will jump. All right. As opposed to the Western world, when people see cash, I mean, they are not too enthused about just money. They want some sort of monumental thing. Something, if even the picture is pasted on the wall of the organization, that is it. Or they celebrate the person, or that they are okay, because the basic needs are there. In Africa, the basic needs are still being contended with. So if you want to reward someone in Africa, you give a small plug and more cash. Okay, I tell you, the person is going to, even in my own house, the form of recognition here, trust me, for those who do well in exams has been established. There is a figure, an amount of money. Just recently, one guy came and then showed the results. I've gotten all A's, and then I know how much I had to pay. I pay, and then she just told me, "It's very good doing business with you. I'll come back." You understand? So you realize that even in your home, those basic needs that we don't have not really helped us to be able to value things that are not monetary. But having said that, recognition is not only money. I will tell you it should substantially include money. But you can also do, sometimes you call all the workers, and one of the guys did this thing, I think 2 days ago. I mean, we're doing review, and then after we were done, one of the lecturers said that, Dr. Boyson, I want to recognize Dr. Noble for his immense contribution. This guy is a firebrand. I've never seen any worker like this in my life ever since I came to GCTU. If you have people like this, the sky will not be the limit. And I could see, because the way I was feeling, I could feel the way Dr. Noble was feeling, because no one has recognized him that way. Even though there were a few, the fact that somebody saw what he was doing is going to help him do so much. So I don't know if you have any views to share on this. If you do, let's do that, and then let me quickly move to 6 Sigma. Any view to share on this? think I have to leave it here. Let's discuss here, because that is also another huge thing we have to do. Guys, can you share any view on what we just discussed? And I'm going to post 3 questions next week. We're going to discuss, and they are all questions that would happen. Okay, any question?
Doc.
Yeah, go ahead.
Doc. Okay, sir. Mine is to find out where motivation falls under this. Would it be a subset of recognition?
Yeah, so you said where motivation does what?
Where we can place motivation under these values, and then
recognition, I mean, brings about motivation.
Okay.
Communication sometimes, and genders, I mean, motivation, teamwork, training. Some people, if you give them training, they think that you are just equipping them to be able to work. It also generates that. When you build trust, okay, so you get it. So motivation becomes the bedrock.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Any view? Hello. Ebenezer Jackson.
Yes, sir.
You are not asleep. Tell us something. Do you look like Michael Jackson?
No, sir.
Okay.
I'm totally different from Michael Jackson.
You're a bulky guy.
So just to share an experience, as you gave an example of what's happening in your home. Years back, I worked with Nestle. And then
you work with Nestle?
Yes, sir.
Currently, you work with Nestle?
No, sir. I've left about 5 years ago.
Also, you were there when they were doing the 6Sigma and all that?
Yes, but I never participated, always concentrating on engineering issues.
Okay, good.
Now, on recognition, there was a fire outbreak in our store. And we had these fire wardens that of my team, part of my team. Actually, the store department is under engineering. We happened to fight the fire, quench it. And now I was to present members of my team who aided the fighting of the fire for recognition. And then the award that was given was a paper with their names written that I present to them. Actually, I felt ashamed in that when I gave to them, they returned back to me. So I had to go to my boss, who is a foreigner. My then boss was from Saudi Arabia. So explain to him, and then we had to now take product from the company for these guys. So as you said, recognition differs from place to place. I think the environment much influence recognition. This I may say. So in our various setup, when recognizing people, we'll have to look at needs and then do the recognition. This I may say.
Okay, that's good. to hear. That's a very nice example. For Africa, paper with your names on par. Jenny Abajebu. Because as you say, if you guys say we can't watch the sea, Africa will be different. Who else? Anything to share? Oh, you people, you want me to mention names? Alan Asante, Nilam Teobaba, Robert, you will come. Alan Asante. So instead of Ellen, Ellen is for ladies. Alan, the guy sleep.
I think he's driving.
He's driving.
He mentioned he's doing the cross country, cross region trip.
Alan, I beg you, park then talk something before then you continue.
No.
He said he's driving, he's going to North.
He's going within the coast, the southern part of Accra.
Okay, this track thing it'd be nice, especially when you are going alone. Anyway. I hope you get it. Chris Opoku. Chris. Chris is also asleep. When I mention your name, talk now, you sleep. Ebenezer Kwe. Also asleep. To Africa, Abi, you they see. They sleep. George Kakra or something.
George Kakra, yeah.
Also asleep. Joseph Obodai.
Obodai.
Yeah, Obodai is not asleep. Tell us something.
No, okay, so I'll speak on training. So at our side, in specifically our department, we do a lot of trainings. So the main idea of having so many trainings is for each and every employee in our department to be equipped with all the skills that everybody has. So we have something that called a 360-degree training, whereby each employee who has particular skill set comes to train everybody. So at the end of the year, it's like everybody is able to do what the other guy is able to do. So if a project comes in and then if a project comes in, it can be assigned to anyone. And you will not have projects coming in whereby you don't have resources. I don't know if it aligns with what we discussed.
No, everything said here makes sense. So, all right. Yeah, everything. Everybody talks sense.
Okay, so that's it for me.
Okay, let me see if I can get one of the link. Who is a Zoom user? Zoom user. Hey. Okay, Michael Owen.
Yes, Doc. Hello, Doc.
Go ahead.
Okay, so for me, I think I'm still, Neelam Taste Coat is what is still striking in my mind. So I'm trying to link that to where I work.
The guy occupy your mind with the quote.
Yeah, yes.
It blow you off. So I'm not the only one. It blow me off.
Trust me.
Like a day,
I think there's a lot to do at the workplace. So we'll try our best to do that.
Exactly. Like a day yourself, like I go give us 100 Ghana. I no go fit send more. He be big man, so the 100 Ghana I no go do him anything. Go ahead. So you are saying that's what has occupied your mind, and that's very instructive. Yeah. That's very instructive. And listening to him, I can relate where he's coming from. All right. I can describe him right now, tell you his thought, and I'm good at that because I know how the depth that he's gone and what he's able to do. Okay. So that's so you have I know a number of you guys are quiet. You also have some of these bombshells in you, and you can drop it at any time. But let us know so that we can also learn from you. Don't be selfish. Okay. Osom, are you there? Sandra.
Yeah, sir.
Sandra, you have not woken up. You are still in bed.
Okay, so I'll talk about the leadership. There's one thing I've noticed, especially when you have subordinates who are older than you. Sometimes it's very difficult to manage such people. But then if you have a very strong leadership skills, you are able to manage regardless of their age and even get them on board and have a very strong team. So it's very key when you are dealing with total quality management, leadership. Yeah.
Okay. Leadership. Yeah.
Yeah, Doc.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Francis. So I also talk about training.
Yeah, Kwanzaa.
No, yes, Doc. And I'll link it to where I work, Girl. Girl, basically we deal in two major products. We deal in white fuels and lubricant. White fuels is super and diesel, and then lubricant. Now, super and diesel is so common that everybody knows that this is car use super, this car use diesel. But when it comes to lubricant, it's very difficult to explain. So what we do is that we believe that everybody is a salesperson, though we have sales, MEs, marketing executives who does this job. But we also believe that everybody in the company, casuals, everybody is a salesperson, especially with respect to lubricant, because you can be a garage, a mechanics, and you can market the lubricant for us. And no lubricant is not easy to identify that I want to use Moto HD, I want to use Gamma or this. It depends on the car and the state of the car, how long the car has been used. Apart from knowing that when a car is a super car, you give me this particular product. When it's a diesel car, you give it a Gamma or this product. Apart from that, within the fuel type that you use, there is a particular product within that you have to use.
Go ahead.
Even if you're using super, there is the lubricant that you have to use depending on the state of your car. So we try to explain to them. So that wherever they find themselves, they too, everybody in the company can also market the lubricant that we do. So every quarter we organize training for our workers, whoever. So far as we're in the company, we do that so that you can also be a salesperson and market the product wherever you find yourself. So training is very important in our company.
Okay. Who else? Who else?
Doc, please, I may come again, Ebenezer Jackson.
Oh,
I'll
Jackson.
talk about communication. I think most companies I've worked in, communication lack a lot. Most often from top management to lower management, communication seems not linking. You see that mission statement, vision statement, and objectives of companies are not being communicated to the junior staffs. And this is something that in the long run affect the output of companies. But other places that I've been, every year, the mission, vision, and objectives are communicated to the lower management. And in such plan of communication, it really affect the output. Output are being met, targets are being met, and then they are being sustainable. So I think communication is much key in TQM.
Okay, that's very strong points that you have made. Who else? Who else? We plenty for here.
Doc, I would like to talk about the leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it is by mistake that when they are arranging it, they put leadership at the down there, which almost make it like the foundation to the success of TQM. Because it's, if you look at all the things that has been stated, I think leadership has a very big role to play to get the success of TQM. Because as you can see, Crosby said it is 100% dependent on leadership. Damien also says it is 85%, and Juan too says it is like 80%. So I think leadership is one of the key here. Thank you.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to talk on recognition.
Okay.
People are the core asset of every successful organization, and it's important that the business or whatever business it is able to duly recognize its people. In other words, the business must show the people that that the business values them. Okay, by putting in place strategies to boost their morale, and not just with recognizing efforts, but then also supplementing recognition with reward. So, for instance, if you have an operator who is able to consistently over-deliver or deliver on equipment efficiency after pushing in a recognition and then boosting the person's morale by portraying a person as a good example, you must supplement with morale in terms of incentives and then other company compliant procedures to assist such an individual.
All right. So we have another question that will drop in spirit and in flesh. Can any good Samaritan read for me?
For TQM to be successful, the organization must concentrate on
Concentrate on what? On some,
right?
Some of the key elements, yeah?
Okay. For TQM to be successful, The organization must concentrate on some of the key elements.
Okay, so the there should have been here instead. Yeah.
Some of the key elements which will improve a quality program within an organization and move the organization towards quality management.
Total quality management.
Okay, total quality management, right. Evaluate 5 of these key elements in achieving a successful TQM implementation.
So the 5 key elements are these ones.
So we have to pick 5 of them and then evaluate.
Have you seen it?
Right.
Guys, have you seen it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's unfortunate that even when questions are being given, people are still sleeping. Hey.
Don't wake up to the coffee.
Sorry?
Do wake up at the right time.
Obed Brown is asleep. Johnny Ayi is asleep.
No, I'm very much awake.
Jacob is asleep. Hannah is very much asleep.
Sir, please, I'm not asleep.
Yes, Miss John is not asleep.
I'm not asleep. I went for a meeting, that's why.
Then Go Mensa is also asleep. Hi. It's only Amwakwa is also asleep. Amma, of course, spoke. You should expect Amma to speak any day, any time. And Fatih is also asleep.
No,
Well
sir,
done.
I'm awake.
You're awake.
I'm awake.
So
Today I'm on break.
You're on break. Who is on break?
Yes, I want the others to speak.
No, but I said that you've spoken. Even when you're on break, you understand?
Yes.
You've spoken. I think I saw Eunice also, or Eunice is gone. Okay. All right. So you don't have anything to say about this question. How do you address this question? So we draw the curtains down. So we have 2 questions now for today. And these 2 questions, next week, tomorrow we are meeting, right? We have a meeting tomorrow. Yeah, so tomorrow we're going to have another, maybe 3 sets of questions. By the time we'll be done, we'll have all the questions for our time constraint exams and then that of the assignment, so that we don't worry ourselves. Go Mensa say my mic is not working because I'm using the work desktop PC. The name is Gideon Obi Mensa. Okay, that's a good excuse. I like that. Me too, my mic will get problem very soon. Anyway, who else? I'm just kidding. Who else? Can we draw the curtains down for today? Are we good? I thought that you were going to throw more light on this question because it is something you don't believe when I say the question will come, eh?
We believe, bro.
No, we believe. We believe.
Those who wrote the exams, you know they believe. Huh?
We believe, Chaba.
But you are not talking about it. Yeah.
I want to share some experience on 3 of the elements you showed us or we discussed, and why
this experience, if you note it down, it will help you. It will help you the right. So listen. We are listening now.
Doc, so I happen to have resigned from an establishment because of integrity, trust, and leadership issues or reasons. Where top management had given out their strategy, and sometimes they will not allow group heads or leaders of the subsidiaries to run the business for them. Some will use your subordinates, they will set up traps and will use your subordinates against you. They will empower your subordinates, but pretend to be working with you to prove a point at one instance where a project was to be done and an operations manager has been given 25,000 Ghana cedis as an interest. For me, it was not acceptable. And after a weekend, you have a group CEO coming to you to ask that I thought you wow me and get this thing done, when the money was given to the operations manager on your blind side. A project like Agenda 111 was to be pursued.
Hey, Agenda 111.
Yes.
The one way
to get it
come for the auditor report this thing. Okay.
and you have people looking out not to get the projects or the project